everyone from Curry Senior Vitality. This is Josie with Community Tech Network, and this is part 2 of our lesson on online news. So in the last lesson, we took a look at Apple News, which looks like this. But today I wanted to mention other news sources that are out there. So there are many different news apps you can install, as well as websites you can go to on Safari. So starting out with just using Safari, I'll go ahead and open this. And as normal, you can just search Google for whatever particular news source you want, whether it's BBC, New York Times, Washington Post, whatever it might be. Let's start out with just taking a look at MSNBC. So it came up right away, msnbc.com. Go. And this is their website. So as with most websites, just be aware of ads. So this whole banner at the top is just an ad. I'm going to try not to tap on. But below that, we get news stories. There's also some navigation at the top there you can do. Looks like that's all related to the election. Some of their news sources have video content. So if you see that little play button, that's a video. So quite a bit you can just browse on their website. If you see something you want to check out, you just go ahead and tap on it to open that particular article. And you'll see sometimes they're labeled as a specific type of article. So this says opinion. Just use my back button to navigate this website. Here we have MSNBC Daily. So all kinds of things you can explore right on their website. Again, an ad. Be aware that when you're on news websites, it's pretty common to eventually run into articles that are not actually from that news source. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so here, for example, you might at first glance think, oh, these are just more articles from MSNBC. They are actually, though, all marked here as sponsored. So these are basically ads, sponsored content from other websites. So it shows actually right there what website it's from. Oops, let me go back. CDS, comparisons.org, Wellness Guide, Beverly Hills. So just be aware that these are sponsored articles. This is often referred to as clickbait. So these are articles that often have a really catchy title. They might just grab your attention and make you interested in reading them. So they're not necessarily dangerous. Just be aware that it's not guaranteed to be accurate information. So yeah, a lot of things health related, about, beauty or youth. So just be aware of those. You can certainly check them out if you want, but a lot of them are kind of time wasters. So always just look out for that sponsored label. And like here, we had a whole section of sponsored content. And then right after it, we're back to MSNBC content. So it does make it a little bit confusing sometimes on websites to tell what's really from that news source and what is just sponsored content. It's sort of one after the other. So just be careful of that. I see also up here there's a button for live TV. So, okay, and it looks like in this case I have to sign in. So different news sources have their own policy on whether you need an account to access all their information or not. So I'm guessing this would be a free account, but you would have to create an account or sign in to actually watch this. So this is MSNBC. Just as another example, let's take a look at the New York Times. Okay, NewYorkTimes.com. So again, this is their website, combination of articles and videos. And again, I would just tap on any one of these to open that article and read it. New York Times, though, does have a limit on how much you can read. So it's asking me to log in or create a free account to continue reading. So if you've created a New York Times account in the past, you would enter your email address and your password. Otherwise, you can use one of these options to use your Google or Facebook or Apple account to sign in. Let's try, I'm going to just create an account using my email address. I'm going to have to create a password. And if you're using the password tool that Apple has, you can just use the strong password that they recommend for you. And this is also pretty typical when you create an account. There's this little section here, you agree to receive updates and offers from the Times. So if I leave that checked, that means I'll start to get emails from the Times. If you don't want that, just uncheck the box and tap Create Account. Okay, now they have an offer to subscribe, and this price may change, but at the moment it's $1 a week. That would give you unlimited articles and priority access to some programming. So you could subscribe if you want to, but I'm just going to tap Continue without subscribing. I'm just going to use my free account and take a look here. So these are options for getting free newsletters from the New York Times if you want. So let's say, maybe the Great Read. Could go ahead and choose that, or really whatever, if you want to get those newsletters to your email. And next, what it's doing is it's recommending the New York Times app. So as it says up here, if you read New York Times in the app, it's just a bit of a smoother experience. It's designed specifically for the iPad. So you can do that, or you can just say read in browser. So continue using Safari. And I'm going to collapse this little message there. I forget exactly how many articles you can read using a free account, but there's a limit of a certain number, I think every month, that you can read for free. So there's my article. And then I did want to show you, we were just looking at MSNBC and New York Times in Safari using their websites, but you could also install apps. So pretty much any news source you might like probably has their own app. So here in the App Store, I can search. Let's start with MSNBC. And so there's the MSNBC app. You can always take a look, just tap on it first before you install it and just sort of get a sense of what's included in the app and what it looks like. It says it's your destination to get the latest breaking news and in-depth analysis through commentary and informed perspectives. Watch live or catch up with full episodes. So this looks like it's more watching. So it's more videos of their shows. Let's take a look at the other things that come up here in the App Store. So there's NBC News. So news, top stories, live news, news alerts, in-depth stories. So sometimes you've got to kind of dig to find exactly which app you're looking for. But you'll see there's an app for CNN, Politico, anything you might want. BBC World Service. So feel free to install any of these apps if you think you'll want to be reading them or looking at them frequently. Typically for myself, I will install the app of, my favorite news sources, but the other ones that I just read occasionally, I don't bother installing the app because remember, apps take up space on your iPad. So in that case, I will just open Safari and go to the website whenever I need to. So let's take a look also at the New York Times. Okay, so these two apps here are actually the same one. This one's just marked with an ad, and this is the same thing. So I'll press Get, install, and then as soon as that finishes installing, I'll have a new icon on my home screen. I can also open it directly here. And just like on the website, it's asking me to log in or subscribe for unlimited access. So I created an account on the website, so I can just log in using my email address. So now I was able to sign into my New York Times account using the app. So as you can see, I've got access to my articles. Can tap on any one of these to read. There's also a For You section and sections. So you can also access games here, or news arranged by different sections. So world news, US news, business, etc. And just to show you a little bit about how the article is different from, how the app is different from the website. So again, this is the app. And if I go ahead and flip back to the website, this is what that looks like. So very similar. The app doesn't have this annoying banner at the top. And also, using the app, it should keep me signed into my account, whereas on the website, potentially every time I come back, I may be asked to sign in. As I mentioned before, the New York Times does limit how many free articles you can read as a non-subscriber. But there is a way to get around that using the San Francisco Public Library. So let me just show you how you would do that. I'll just open Safari. And if I just do a Google search here of SFPL NY Times, that will take me to this article here. How do I access New York Times? And on this page, it will go through all the instructions of what exactly to do. And there's even a short video here that will show you exactly what's required. But basically, you would make sure you already have a New York Times account, and then you would tap this link to get a remote access code. And then this is that code that you can use to redeem your digital access. And so I would just go ahead and tap redeem. It would then ask me to sign into my account using the email address and password that I provided when I signed up. And from there, you can choose to open the New York Times in the app or just continue reading in the browser. But that digital access will be applied to your account for 72 hours. So that's the limitation, that if you do want to read the New York Times regularly, you would have to go back and do the same process basically every 72 hours. But it is a good way to get free, full access to the New York Times. So again, just do a Google search of SFPL, New York Times, and you'll find all kinds of information about how to do this. Okay, so we covered how to look up different news sources on the internet using Safari, just to access their website. We also talked about installing news apps in the App Store, and that can be whatever your preferred news source is. And the last thing I wanted to mention is maybe you're not going for a particular source, you just want news about a topic. You can easily use Google for that. So let's say election, any sort of thing that's going on in the world, you can search for it. Oftentimes Google will ask to use your location. It's up to you if you want to do that, but if you say allow, it will probably give you results targeted more to your location. And so depending on what topic you search, you may get news right away here. Since we did have an election just recently, I'm getting news right off the bat. But you can also use this little news filter to sort the results that Google shows you. So let's pick a different example. Like maybe I search something more general like drought. If I do a basic Google search using this all section, there are some news stories that come up on top, but further down you also get more general information about what is a drought, information about droughts more generally speaking. So if you're seeing too much general info, I definitely recommend using this news filter to kind of sort it down to just news results. And this, as you can see, is pretty current, 2 days ago, 20 hours ago, etc. So that's a way to access news articles less tied to a specific source. And of course, when you do something like that, the more specific you can be in your Google search, the more targeted the Google results will be. So I hope this has been helpful. And go ahead and install your favorite news apps or continue using Safari to access the website when you need. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.